All right, here we go. We are live. First Trifecta podcast.
What do they say? What is that? Man up,
Man up. Body, mind, and spirit, baby.
body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah, that's really the gist of it, right? Keep mixing those three things together seamlessly and equally.
Yeah, because I mean, being in this treatment game for a decade, um, and just trying to figure out, hey, what are we missing? Like, what's treatment missing? If we're having so many young men and women relapse so often, what are we missing?
Yeah. What's your answer? What do you come up with?
I look at like the current model of treatment, right? Sitting in a group room for 30 hours a week, hearing about how addiction, for the most part, has negatively affected your life, which is true. Like, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. But do we need to stay there? That's the question. How long do we need to stay there?
Yeah. And is that information you're hearing even sinking in? Like, is it like does it go like when you leave that classroom? Do you actually are you able to put that into real life? And like, what does that do? What does that information do for your life? Right? There's
Yeah.
information and application. If you have
Right.
all the information in the world but you don't apply it to your life, it's fucking useless.
Yeah, I work with this local treatment center here in Knoxville, doing some work with our clients, and as we're starting to ramp up here at Trifecta, um, and we're talking about the definition of commitment that you and I talk a lot about, right? Is doing something we said we are going to do long after the emotional state we set it in this past. And I think about 5 or 6 years ago when I started my physical health journey again, toward running into my late 40s and soon to be 50. But what did it look like? I mean, I wasn't able, and I was an athlete, but I had told myself for 10 years, let's get to the gym. And I'd go there and I'd work out, and it would just be inconsistent. And it wasn't until I just put on my gym clothes for 10 days, for 20 minutes, took them off, didn't lose a pound. Put the gym clothes on for another 10 days and drive to American Gym and just sit in the parking lot, go home. Then it was put my gym clothes on, drive to American Gym and walk on the treadmill at 3 miles an hour for 20 minutes and go home. And the guy that was talking with me about this and mentoring me through this, I just thought he was crazy. I thought he was nuts. But really, what he was teaching me was in the midst of not seeing immediate results, stay committed and
Delayed
build a habit.
gratification.
What's that?
Delayed gratification. Right? Everybody
Yeah,
wants this instant gratification. That mindset will
absolutely.
kill you. You ain't gonna
But I
get
can
it.
tell you this: 5 years later, 6 years later, 130 pounds of fat gone, right? 40 beats per minute off my resting heart rate. Like life's changed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and that's one element of what we talk about for one aspect of your life. When we start adding in the mental game, the
Right.
mindset, the internal dialogue, and then we start adding in the spiritual element, that's when it really all comes together, right?
Yeah, that's a whole new ballgame. So what we did at this little local treatment center down the street, because we're seeing people work on the mental side 30 hours a week, go home to a structured living and veg out on the couch because they can't think, because they talk so much about addiction and doom and gloom and some hope, right? It's not all bad. Um, so we challenged them to do 3 mailboxes a day, put their gym clothes on, and walk to 3 mailboxes every day, and it caught fire. Like these guys are doing it. Like literally, it's simple. Now we got to walk through and talk a little bit about it. And when it gets pretty boring at day 10 and there's no results, what's the importance of continuing to go? But man, we're teaching, hey, that your physical fitness matters in recovery.
Yeah, and at that point, you're really teaching a mindset, versus the actual physical fitness, right? You're learning how to do something you said you were going to do consistently without even seeing the result. You're not actually becoming physically fit yet by walking 3 mailboxes, but you're setting a mindset. Whereas you said you were going to do something, it's active, you're doing it, and you're doing it daily without necessarily seeing the result yet, knowing that it's going to lead to the next step, to the next step, and to the next step. I love it.
Man, if we can get these guys to wake up 30 days from now and accomplish 3 mailboxes a day for 30 days, even when they didn't want to do it, we can start to do so make some real change because they've committed to the process.
Yep. Yep. Becomes a habit, becomes a part of your daily structure, and you just start doing it. There are things I do every day without even thinking about it. They become muscle memory. They're non-negotiables. I do them. I don't. Doesn't matter how I feel. Doesn't matter the timing around it. Doesn't matter what's going on in my head. Doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. I am programmed to do these specific things every day. And those started with a lot of small things. And every once in a while, I have to add something new in there. Doesn't mean I like it. I just set it in my mind. It's happening, and I do it, right? And when you're able to do the things that don't get you the great results, when you start doing things that actually produce results and start really adding to your life, oh man, that's when it becomes easy and fun. And without
Man,
that,
yeah, absolutely. At 50, I turned 50 this month. I'm in better shape than I was when I was 30, maybe when I was 25.
yeah,
And let me tell you, here's the funny thing about that is I hate going to the gym today as much as I did then.
yep,
I just don't give into the voice, and I start to realize the therapy that takes place in that in that 90 minutes.
yep.
The therapy, the recovery of the mind and what it looks like, and then the dopamine release when you do something you didn't want to do. It's
Yep.
amazing.
It's funny how much you may actually. Well, I'd be willing to bet. I don't know for sure, but I bet when you're actually at the gym in the middle of a workout, you actually love it. But even the next day, you're gonna hate you. You act like you hate it. Your mind tells you that you hate it and you don't want to go. That's just the human condition. Then you
Right.
get there, you're in the middle of the workout. You're actually feeling good. The endorphins are going, the body's moving, and then when you're done with it, that's when you're like, hell yeah,
Man,
accomplishment.
in the fight game, man, you've been in the fight game for a minute, but boxing as a kid and kind of picking it back up lately, and man, we road work was a big deal. Like road work, running was a big deal. I hate to run. I think I'm at mile for the last 4 days. I think I'm sitting right around 16 miles. Not bad, right? But I can tell you, I hated every mile until I did it.
Yeah, there's a great. I don't know the exact quote. I think it's Ali talks about championships are won far away from the bright lights. They're won on the roads and in the early mornings. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's you got to do that stuff and you do it.
Right. They say, what do they say? Your dreams on the other side of what you're not willing to do.
Yep, yep, yep.
Well, I'm excited about Man Up, Mind, Body, and Soul, where it's going to go, and how we get to talk about dudes with dudes doing healthy dude shit, right?
Yeah, we'll do this every week to get started. Maybe bring some guests on with us and just see where it goes, man.
Absolutely, man.
All right, brother. Until next time, man up.